Okay, so a brief word on your warm-up strokes or practice strokes once you're down on a shot. Basically those are for establishing rhythm and for getting comfortable and focusing on your speed and double checking your aim, which you should have already established in your aiming process while you're standing. So we're going to actually cover that in more detail, the practice strokes, what to do with your eyes in the aiming section. But as far as your actual practice strokes for the stroke section, I like to get down. The first couple strokes are for grounding yourself, just kind of like a waggle in golf. If you watch or you play golf, you'll see golfers kind of moving their club a little bit. That's called a waggle. And it's just so you don't get too stiff when you're down there. You don't want to spend forever down on your shot taking 100 practice strokes. And the more comfortable and confident you get in the game, you're going to take less practice strokes. And the idea is to settle into a rhythm where it's very predictable how many practice strokes you're going to take. So it might look something like this. A couple strokes and then slowing down your stroke and having pauses in there. And then finally you hit the ball with the stroke that you've been working on. So the primary purpose of this section on stroke is to work on that actual stroke that you're going to use to hit the ball with. And we want that to be straight, smooth, and consistent. So now I'm going to show you a few drills on how to develop that stroke. And the first one here has a couple purposes. One is so you know where center ball is. To make sure you can hit center ball. And the idea is you put the cue ball on the spot and you shoot straight up to the middle of the nameplate up here, or right over this spot, and you want the cue ball to come straight back and hit your tip. Okay, I hit it a little bit on the side. You just keep doing this until you get consistently, you can hit the center of your tip. Okay, I was off a little bit again. Okay. So as I'm bending down here, I'm keeping my eyes right up here at my target. While I'm coming down like that, my eyes are glued up there. And then I can go ahead and do my normal eye pattern. But when I shoot, when I pull back, I'm looking up there. And the great thing about this is you get automatic feedback for what you're doing wrong. You keep your head down and keep your cue out after your backswing. Okay, that was a lot better. So the spot right here is going to tell you if you follow through straight or not. If you're covering it up perfectly, that's good. If you're off to the side, you can see that. So you don't want to shoot the ball and then move real quick. So keep it out there so you can actually analyze what you've been doing wrong in your stroke, if anything. And you can use a closed hand bridge. You can do a draw stroke. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. So that's center ball, and make sure you hit it hard enough as well, because if you just roll this ball and you do put spin on it by accident, then the spin is going to be off of the cue ball by the time it hits the rail, and then the ball is going to come back straight anyway. And so it's not an accurate feedback on whether or not you're putting spin on the ball. So at least you want to hit it hard enough to where if it has spin, the spin is still on there when it hits the rail. So now this will help you become good at hitting center ball, and you can judge what's happening with your stroke. To take that a step further, okay, I want to make the 3 ball hit the cue ball back to my tip. Oh, we got the nice sunshine coming through. Gonna blind me over here. Getting closer. The sunshine. Alright. Let's get this baby. Close. There we go. And you can stick with that if you want. Try to get it perfect. Here's a great drill using a glass bottle. It helps you with your accuracy onto the cue ball and the accuracy of your stroke. So you can do that for a while. Here's what it looks like. From over here you can use an open hand bridge or a closed hand bridge. Should help you out. Okay, one thing I'd like you to do is work on your stroke without the cue ball and with no practice strokes. So don't do this and then stroke, practice stroke, and then stroke. I just want you to take nice full swings, pulling back all the way and coming through, pulling back all the way, coming through. Every single stroke is a real stroke. You can do it with your closed bridge and your open bridge. Just work on coming straight back perfectly on a line and then going forward on that same line. Back, forward, back, forward. And you can do it over a spot if you want. But again, this works on that throwing motion like we were talking about in the sports. Just swinging back and forth. So work on your stroke like that. That's really the first step, is just getting the actual motion down that you're going to use to hit the cue ball. So from there, okay, then you take a bunch of balls, put them up on the head string like this. Now we're just going to focus on getting movement on the cue ball with a nice stroke. And we want a good backswing and a follow through that goes about, say 6 inches past the cue ball. We want to make it down into the corner pocket. So this half is going to go up into that pocket. I don't want to touch the rail going in here, so I'm going to hit the pocket facing on my way in. And you just focus on staying down and following through straight. So you're bringing that stroke that you were working on with no cue ball, bringing that same stroke into this shot. Work on your follow through. You can use a closed bridge if you want. Stay down and follow through. Remember, the stroke is actually not only about what you do, but what you don't do. So the idea there is that you don't jump up, you don't move your head up, jump your body up. And that's actually the cause of a lot of misses, is stuff that people are adding to the equation. So you spend all this time to get set up perfectly, perfectly still, and then you jump up. You're going to miss so many shots because of that. It's natural, everybody goes through it in the beginning, at least to some degree. But you want to get to the point where you eliminate that movement on your stroke. So here we're just going to focus on staying down and following through. And don't be in a hurry to get up and move to your next shot. Okay? Focus on keeping your head still. follow through, see how it's way past the cue ball. So from the side, it's going to look something like this. Okay, now here's a view from the side just to show you the follow through going past the cue ball. And it even goes past that line. I'll use the rail bridge. Right. Right, so say I was going to hit a ball. Here's my cue ball. Right, so remember to follow through. The cue ball is simply on the path of you going from your backswing to your follow through. I see it too often, people hitting and stopping at the cue ball. So you don't want to do that. It's usually a sign of some type of tension right there. So if you're really relaxed, you can just keep pushing through the cue ball. Like it's not even there really. And then your stroke is doing all the work. The cue ball is not even there. The cue ball is just an extension of your arm, as is the cue stick. Nice and relaxed. Okay, now I want to touch upon cue power and the length of your backswing. So for instance, say that you're only going to barely touch this cue ball really soft and just roll that one ball in. Watch the length of my backswing. Right? So I really didn't need a big wind up right there. And remember, we also talked about acceleration and a positive hit. If you pull all the way back here for this soft hit, you're definitely going to be decelerating. You know, it's harder, well okay, let me concentrate here, but it's harder to control. There's just no need really to pull back on such a soft hit all the way. So control the length of your backswing. And then when you need the power, that's when you really want to have a backswing to where the white part, the ferrule, comes all the way back inside of your bridge right there. Now you're going to have more room from here, between there and the cue ball, to accelerate with acceleration through the cue ball. So we're going to touch more upon this in the sections on stop, draw, and follow. But I'll just show you what I mean right here. Pull back all the way, and then follow through. And you'll find you get more power. Alright, now whatever you paid for this DVD, this one drill right here is worth 1,000 times that. So check this out. I just call it the long straight in. And basically you can work on your stop, draw, and follow, whatever you want to do. But the main thing is you're shooting this straight in shot here. And you just want to see what happens at first. See where you're at. Okay, so I made it. Notice the cue ball went over here to the right, my right. The idea is you want to be perfect. You want to make it, and you want the cue ball to stop perfectly. So make sure you're aimed so it's actually in between these 2 points. Going right in there. Okay, so I hit it too far to the right. I'm going to adjust my aim this time. Okay, came over too far. So the idea here is that even if you make a ball, you don't want to be satisfied. Okay, I came back, I'm trying to stop it. Now we're focusing on here is stroke. So there could be a few things that go wrong. You could be off in your aim, or you could be off in your stroke, or you could be on in your stroke and just hit a little side spin either way, which is going to cause your cue ball to deflect, which we'll go over. Okay, so I hit it hard. You want to do that. You want to work on your stroke by hitting the shot really hard. And then you want to tone it down all the way until you're hitting with a roll. Why don't we go ahead and use a stripe here. You can use a stripe or one of those measle cue balls with the red spots on it, so you can see how it's spinning. But the idea here is to not only make the ball and have the cue ball stop, but you want it to stop dead perfect with no spin on it. And you can just see that easy with the stripe. Okay. Looks like it didn't have much spin. Might have had a slight amount of spin, but I hit it to the right a little bit. So I mean, it's just a beautiful drill because you get all this feedback. And you can work on your aim. See, I'm still hitting it off. And you want to do this until you master it, not just until you get it once. Alright, so work on that. Do it with your draw shot also, and with your follow. I think I'll mention this again in the draw and follow section, but remember this: long, straight in, stay down and follow through after you hit it so you can see what happened with your stroke. Okay, it's a great drill. Okay, just for your information, you can keep adding layers of difficulty to the drill. So watch, I'll put the cue ball right in front of the ball here. Now I have to jack up over this ball, and now I'm working on my jacked up game. Okay, I made it, but I want to keep shooting that until I make it clean in the pocket. Okay, so you could also put the cue ball a couple inches off the rail, 1 or 2 inches, and work on your off the rail jack up shot. Like that, and you can draw it back down. Okay, shooting the cue ball when it's close to the rail or close to another ball, we call it elevated stroke or jacked up, because you're jacked up over another ball or up on the rail. Say when you do it for a draw shot, it's going to come up a lot, so it's worthy of paying attention to and practice. Put some time into it, because there's a lot of mistakes that can be made, and I see it in people's strokes or my own stroke, and I'll work on it. You know, this will happen all the time. People will be shooting through the ball and their stroke will go off to the side like that. So, and then there's a masse and the spin off the rail. So put some time into just working on a straight stroke when you're elevated. And you can do that back to the tried and true up and down the table with no spin, and try to get the cue ball to come back to you. And you're really focusing also on your stroke, on making it go straight. So what I'm going to do is really watch my follow through, see how I come through this ball. And I had a little left hand spin, so watch the result. And I think my stroke went off to the left too, so I'm just going to concentrate on a follow through that goes straight. And I'm going to keep doing this until I can consistently get that cue ball perfectly straight or really straight all the time. And then I'm going to advance to shooting a straight in shot, jacked up like that, to where I can make it really consistently. And that's going to pay off big time in all your games and practice, because it comes up enough to where it's a powerful weapon.